got one last topic to get to today, Tyvis. It's not Big Christmas. I'm sorry.
What?
It's the topic
You
we skipped.
scratched it?
It's the topic we skipped earlier in the show.
No, I
we're
don't want to talk about it.
We're doing a DB topic, and we got two former professional
I don't want
DBs
to talk
on the
about
panel.
it. I'm sorry.
It is brought to us by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat. Get your draft boards ready and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts and overreactions that we all live for. It all goes down on Yahoo Fantasy this year. The UCSS League is going back to Yahoo Fantasy. It is the best decision we have made here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. It all begins on August 4th. Stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That is yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. Let's make this fantasy season the best one yet. Ty, we'll talk Big Christmas in overtime, I promise. But I wanted to do this before Ross Tucker came on. The quarterback conversation we had was so interesting, I didn't want to cut that short before Ross, so I figured we'd save this for the end and do it quickly. But the reports out of both joint practices, both yesterday and today, was that the Browns' defensive line looked very good. And the Browns' secondary got exposed a little bit. We know Denzel's awesome. We know who Denzel is. But, Tyvis, who else in the secondary, with MJ out, has to step up to ensure this unit is not a major weakness in 2025?
Cameron Mitchell. Listen, I understand people might go to G New. Some people might go Ronnie Hickman. I hear you. And Cam Mitchell is the one that they going at first. I'm just telling you right now. I seen him in this preseason game give up that slot fade. I seen him last year in the preseason give up that same slot fade. So you best believe when they go against Cincinnati, guess what they gonna run? Slot fade. Probably Jamar Chase, especially if Denzel ain't traveling. So I'm just telling you, everybody got respect for Denzel. They know what Denzel bringing to the table. Some people got respect for G New. You is the one that they gonna circle and say we got to eat off of him. So you got to be able to show that you can handle it often and early. Because I'm telling you right now, y'all opening up against Cincinnati, they gonna scheme up some things in that slot. And trust me, I played nickel. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. I played nickel. It ain't easy. It's a lot of space in there, so I get it. So they better send some help your way, have some safeties, some inside pieces or something like that. But, yeah, you better get ready because you the guy, unfortunately.
Grant Delpit, I think, has to have a big year, especially because the tackling in the secondary last year was just really poor, and those guys have to do better. And it starts with the safeties. I mean, those guys have to come up and they gotta clean stuff up. And boy, I just think with no Martin Emerson. We talked about some of the changes we're going to have on the outside at cornerback, but from a safety standpoint, you talked about Hickman a little bit there too. I think Delpit is a guy, former second-round pick. Like he's had moments where he shined. Mm-hmm. He's also had moments where he's not even on the field because he's been injured. So I think if he can stay healthy this year, he even said it like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. He was on record. He's like, I've got to play better. Like he took ownership for his shortcomings that he's had in his short career. That's a guy that I think has got all the ability in the world when he's healthy and just needs to play with confidence and just get it done, do it.
Yeah, Newsome was my initial answer. So first of all, it's kind of funny to me that we all came up with different answers.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's only 4 spots. Five spots.
Right? And we didn't talk about this pre-show about sometimes you do that where, all right, I'll take this guy, you take that guy. We didn't do that. We organically came up with 3 different names. What does that tell you?
All over. I got a homie that's been saying for years that our secondary is Swiss cheese because it's got a lot of holes in it.
Yeah. I mean, Greg Newsome. Greg Newsome was kind of the obvious answer to me because of the spot. He's going back to the spot where he came up as an outside corner, the spot that he wanted to play. So now he's got to perform. Now he's got to produce, and it just feels like when he's been in that spot in the past, teams have gone at him with great success, and that's why that was what you said makes a ton of sense about Cam and some of the slot receivers that they're going to go against in the NFL. What you said makes a ton of sense because it goes back to what you said about Juan Thornhill. They don't need him till they need him, but when they need him, they really need him.
Man.
And it felt like when they really needed him,
He was
not there.
Yeah.
So I get it from a safety. And again, I think the bigger picture of this is the fact that organically we came up with 3 different answers. Means it ain't just one issue in the secondary. It might be just one solution in the secondary and 4 problems.
Yeah, they got to get it together. I mean, like I said, a lot of the stuff, it got to be communications. Like, I don't want to see no coverage bust this year. Like, that, to me, I always tell y'all, that's my biggest pet peeve with playing in the secondary is that 2 people ain't on the same page. And it's like, if you would have just told, y'all just would have signaled to each other, y'all would have had the same communication. It wouldn't have been no bust. The G New thing, I understand, but he's motivated. Like, there's a ton of motivation. Like, when you talk about money involved, like, he's extremely motivated. So I'm not necessarily worried about him because I know at least he's a first-round pick. He's had moments where he's actually shined. Cam Mitchell hasn't done it for 17 games.
Yeah.
And I know we are all everybody was on we can get rid of G New for Cam Mitchell. And then you and I have been in link steps saying, I got to see it first. I got to see it.
Yeah.
And the only way and everybody else in the world's going to want to see it. Like, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to be like, that guy, he's the new guy. He's the one that ain't been in there. Him. Let's see what he got.
Yep.
And that's going to happen. And if he makes some plays, now people will back off a little bit. But I'm telling you right now, if I'm game planning, that's the first person I'm going at.
It's funny with Newsome. I think you go back to the Njoku contract we were talking about earlier. When they signed David, it felt like an overpay a little bit. At the time, we kind of looked at it and thought, man, that's a lot of money for a tight end that hasn't really emerged into that elite category. And I always felt part of that was because he bought back in and he asked for a trade, he wanted out. When they drafted Harrison Bryant, when they signed, who was the tight end they signed?
Hooper.
Kevin's first. Thank you,
Hooper.
Austin Hooper. And David looked around and was like, well, there ain't no room for me. I want out of here. And Kevin was able to get him back in the boat. And I felt like that was a little bit of a reward for buying back in was that contract. And I sort of felt that way with picking up Greg's 5th-year option. He was overpaid for being a slot corner in the NFL, given what he had done. He was overpaid. But it almost felt like a reward for, hey, listen, I know you don't want to be there. You've had a good attitude about it for the most part. You've done what we've asked you to do. We're going to pick up that 5th-year option. Here's the reward for that. And plus, I think they wanted to see more out of him and see. Now he's back at his natural spot. Now he's back where, at least for this year, he's back where he's most comfortable, where he wants to be. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he can do.
I think about this. If he balls out this year, like Pro Bowl type season,
Yeah.
he taking money for Martin Emerson.
Yeah.
Like, because Martin as good as a great of a guy as he is, and as much as I wanted them to pay him, and I was expecting such a big bounce back season from him. He coming off an Achilles tear. Like, typically it take you 2 years to get back right. If he coming back next year off the Achilles tear, I'm not necessarily saying he's gonna have a great season. I'm not necessarily saying he's gonna have a bad one. There's gonna be complications though.
Yeah.
I played with Sherm. Sherm had complications. He had to take practices off because he said it started to just flare up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's a part of it. So if that's the case, and G New is a Pro Bowler on the outside, he could. The Browns in theory could just resign him.
Not to mention last time we saw Emerson, it was not his best tape.
Right.
So when you add that,
But
I
just think
Achilles,
the Browns isn't that grimy of an organization to do Martin Emerson like that bad. But I think he's under contract next year anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, this
This ain't the last. This is 3rd year, so yeah, he got one more
Is he
year.
restricted?
He would be.
We'll look that
he would be restricted because you got to do 4 years of playing 6 or more games. He would only have 2 technically.
To your last point that you made at the end, the Browns, I think, have done very well by their guys.
Right.
Like when you look at some of the contracts they've handed out, they've done well in supporting their guys. They had no reason to give Miles a no-trade clause. They gave it to him anyway.
Yeah.
The Deshaun contract. They had no reason to give him $230. Well, the reason was to get him to come here.
Jack Conklin.
3-year extension at the end.
Be nice to our guys. What's that got us?
Not a lot of wins.
I'm not saying don't be nice to your guys, but I mean the generosity. I mean,
Yeah.
how about give some generosity to the fans?